Scavenger, Jaxus wants to know why Project Necromancy is being delayed.
I'm sorry, boss, but we had to delay it since you guys told us to immediately hop on the Operation Turn for the trader here. We needed to delay one of our other projects, and that was the only one we could delay.
Very well. I will allow this to go by, but I want the project back up and running as quickly as possible. So hurry up on his conversion and turn off his pain receptors. I want him to feel every little drop of pain.
Yes, sir. Well, you heard him, Bone Crusher. Turn off the pain receptors.
Right away, boss. Already on it.
No, please. No.
On to the review.
Okay, Dreadwing, before we get on to the review, do you mind telling me why I'm out of my cell? I saw you guys said you didn't want me to review anymore, and why is Dead End pointing his gun at me off screen?
That's because me and him do not want to risk being attacked by the reviewing object today. Aren't they on your side? Yes, but we're too scared of having another Kane incident happen. Alright, so you just want me to get on with it then? Yes. Dead End will shoot you if you try to call out again. Alright then, let's get this over with then.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Firestorm Reviews, where today we'll be having a look at Transformers Studio Series 86 Scavenger and Transformers Age of the Primes Vortex. So, let's have a look at Scavenger first. But first, let's have a look at his box. And he just fell over in the background because I knocked him with the box. So yeah, the box, just like all new Studio Series boxes, is pretty nice. Happy they brought back the plastic still. Still upset they got rid of the numbers. But for the 86 line, I didn't really care for the numbers since it was just 86 and then a 101. There. Amazing art of Scavenger on the front in both vehicle and truck mode, digger mode. A little image of Autobot City. I wonder, will that be the next Titan class figure for Studio Series? On the back, we have an image of Scavenger in his toy robot mode and the secondary combined version of Devastator's gun here. A little image of Devastator from the movie, which technically is also one of the scenes of Scavenger. And on the side here, we have a lovely illustration of Devastator. A 3-in-1, combiner stuff here. Studio Series, the movie, and there. Now, let's look at Vortex's box. Vortex's box, standard deluxe box. Beautiful image of Vortex on the side here with his null rays, miniguns, what do you call those? A beautiful image of him in helicopter mode with his gun sticking out. Of course, we have the primes on the side, being the 13th, Megatronus, I believe that's the 13th, somebody correct me in the comments below, and Loki Prime, I just forgot his name off the spot. On the back here we have a beautiful image of Vortex, Invoke Vehicle and Robot, 19 steps, a 1 out of 5 bots, combine Vortex, Bohr and text down there, Transformers more than ACI, and a beautiful image of Power of the Prime's Bruticus, which I just gotta say, I love the image of it. He looks amazing and I can't wait for the rest to come out. And I think I see how we're gonna recreate the Transformers 4 Cybertron Flamethrower hand mode. By the way, do you guys think for the Commander Price Onslaught we're gonna get a mini Shockwave gun mode to recreate that one scene from the G1 show? Anyway, now let's get on to the figures themselves. Alright, here we have the figures themselves. Let's have a look at Scavenger first. He is painting this beautiful, he's molding this beautiful bright neon green highlighter with his vehicle mode wheels pinned, so they're very great for rolling in vehicle mode. A Decepticon badge on his chest, red mark in there, beautiful purple color scheme. Of course, any Constructicon will have a terrible backpack. Well, any vehicle that has to have them mostly on the back have terrible backpack. And yeah, very nice and painted and all that. And his accessories are his standard Decepticon blaster, and if I can stop dropping, I've been dropping it off screen every chance I get by accident. Devastator's gun, which splits into 2 guns, let's say, which you can just tab into Scavenger's hands right here. The big one has a bit of a looser grip. So yeah. But I feel like 9% of us are going to leave them in their combined mode, which is just pop. Ta-da! And let me just give him back his gun. And alright, let's move on to Vortex's paint sculpt and everything else. And here he is. I gotta say, he's a good figure. Definitely has some issues in my opinion. Like, mainly just the helicopter kibble here. I feel like they could have tried to find a better way to hide it. But then again, this is a deluxe class figure. They don't have the budget of a Voyager here or other size points. And it's still good. My main complaint is that sometimes the the stuff stopping here, it feels too loose and it just folds up too easily. And of course, then there's the helicopter blades on the back, which I gotta say, kind of weird sometimes, because I've seen in the instructions they tell us to have them displayed like this in robot mode. In other images, I've seen you display them completely folded up. I don't know which one to do. I like to have them a little split to the side, so it looks more better from like a front-on angle. Has a beautiful markings of vehicle mode kibble. One of his helicopter's tires there, the helicopter feet right here, and he is stacked with a bunch of weapons. We have what look like null raids or miniguns, a standard blaster and that. And technically, you could count his shoulder things here as weapons if you want to count them shooting out hot air that comes from the engine. He also has a beautiful painted red visor, a beautiful silver jaw, and of course, he has the standard combiner holes in there to combine to the arms, which I will be showing you how to combine him with your Superion if you have one, but I'll be doing that later. I will be also showing you Scavenger's combined mode in this video because I'm most likely not going to be able to get all the Constructicons in a decent time period, so they'll get all their combined forms shown in the reviews I do of them, and then re-shown if I ever get the full team. Alright, let's have a look at Scavenger's posability next. So Scavenger's posability comes with a ball socket in the head so he can spin around. Arms rotate up almost full 360, but get in the way of the bucket back here. Can bend out. Has a little bit of a butterfly joint. Bend at the elbow. And if you want to count this part here as hand articulation, then yes, he has hand articulation. No waist rotation because he actually has something that I'll show you in his combined form later on. He has his legs can kick out that far and back that far, and just like Jumpy the Hong says, beautiful spread, rotation at the thigh, bend at the knee, and incredible ankle pivot. Impressive splits there, Scavenger. I am in severe pain. Help! Alright. Yeah, and that's all the articulation in his robot mode. Now let's move on to Vortex's articulation. Vortex, just like Scavenger, has a ball socket head. All ball joints can be a swivel. Arms can rotate full 360, depending if the helicopter blades get in the way or not. Rotation at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and no hand articulation. Sad, but still, deluxe class figures, they don't all need hand articulation. Rotation at the waist because all modern combiners have that now, except for you. Kick out that far and back that far. And what does Jumping Hong say, my audience? Beautiful spread. Rotation at the 5, bends in that far, and also an amazing ankle pivot. Seriously, what's with all the modern combiners these days having incredible ankle pivots? And yeah, now let's do the size comparisons. Here they are next to Revenge of the Fallen Scavenger. Here they are next to the new style of combiners Limbots, minus my Stunticons because they're all up in the combined form and I can't get them down at the moment. And here they are next to the Combiner Wars style combiners members. Here they are next to Superion and G-Axis. Hey, what are you doing out of your cell? And lastly, here they are next to V from Murder Drones. Now, let's get on to what poses you can put them in. Here they are pointing and shooting. Pointing and shooting again, both their other guns. Here they are T-posing to assert their dominance over everyone. Here's Vortex and Axle Grease confessing their love. And lastly, here is Scavenger reprogramming Vortex to be loyal to G-Axis. Now, let's move on to their transformations. Alright, let's start with Scavenger. For Scavenger, you're first going to want to remove his gun from his hand. And then you're going to take his chest plate here, untab it from the head, and fold it out. Which will also reveal some lovely molded in detail there. Hasbro didn't need to go that far, but they did. Then you just fold his head in and then fold back up the torso plate. Then you take his arms, bring them up for a bit more clearance, fold one back like so, and fold in his hands. And second verse, same as the first. Then you want to tab his feet together. Oh, and bring his hands down and tab this slot here into that tab there. And wait till you hear like a nice click. And then you take his feet, fold them up like this. Fold them inwards. Then you take his back part here, lower it down. Then you come back to his bucket, lift it out until it clicks into there. Fold this tab down here to click in like so. And then boom, then you just lower his bucket down. And then you come back to the hood of the vehicle, rotate it, and then just slide these back in because they'll pop out of their original spot. And then bada bim bada boom, you got him in vehicle mode, and you just tab his gun here. If my fingers will let me do it. And there, you have Scavenger in excavator mode. Now, let's move on to Vortex. Vortex, you're going to want to do the same sign off, remove all of his guns. Now it just feels weird seeing a Combaticon without any weapons. Okay, first you're going to want to rotate his head around. Fold the wheel out here. Then, just for a bit better clearance, you're going to take this here, rotate it like so. You see these two tabs here, grab one of them and lift it up. So that covers his face to protect the paint. Rotate it back for now. Then you fold down his arm covers till they cover his wrist. Fold them up and straight like so. And then you want to come back to the legs, tap them in together, fold up his feet, untab the front of his legs. Then you're going to come back to this, rotate it like this, and just move that out of the way. And then you're going to want to lift this up and close it. Then you spin that around. And then you're going to take these and move them like this. And then lift them up and around. Click it all into place. Take his tail fin, spin it around, tab it in, and then this part, I don't know what they're called, rotate it back like so, and then untab everything that probably untab because I'm a terrible video instructor, and then rotate out the blades to like so, and then you take his weapons, and I like to put his gun like that and these at the front of the helicopter, but they're not meant to go there. Alright, and there we have Vortex in his helicopter mode. And I gotta say, he's a very nice helicopter. We'll look at them too in a little bit, which is right now. Okay, so Scavenger's vehicle mode. It's pretty nice and compact. Sure, of course, there's still the obvious robot doing a yoga pose underneath. And you can do some construction work with the digger. But it for some reason causes this little tab here to come unstuck. Yeah, and let me just scroll, get a better look for you guys. He rolls really nice. Thanks to these pinned wheels, which I actually really like on some Transformers. Sure, some I'm okay with them not, but lots of ones like Constructicons, I really like it on them. Alright, now let's have a look at Vortex. Let's park you over there, Scavenger. And Vortex, yeah, he's a really nice helicopter. This is a spoiler for Jurassic World Rebirth, so if you haven't seen it, I will hunt you down because I'm a big Jurassic Park fan. Keep this guy far away from any of your Distortus Rexes because he has a habit of destroying helicopters. Yeah, and you get the classic helicopter spin. Ow. Hitting me a little bit. And also on the back propeller here too. Nice colors, the nice blue going down here. I kind of wish it went all the way down him, but that's alright. My one also has like a weird splot of blue right there for some reason. And of course, robot underneath, can't really escape that. At least it looks a bit more convincing than some other jet bots. Superion. Alright, now let's go and have a look at their size comparison with other figures. Here they are compared to Revenge of the Fallen Scavenger. Here they are next to the new style of combiner limbs. And here they are next to the old style of combiner limbs. And here they are next to Superion and G-Axis. For some reason, Scavenger likes rolling backwards and knocking Superion out of order. Now, let's move on to the last size comparison. And here they are next to V from Motor Drones. Now, onto my final thoughts. No, wait, before we go into my final thoughts, I just realized I forgot to do something. Show you how to turn him into his foot mode and the combined form with Superion. Alright, we'll do Scavenger into his foot form first. And first thing you're going to want to do is take the gun off, put it to the side here, there. Take his arms, untab them. Rotate them around like so. Lift up his bucket. Make sure that tab stays in there. Continue rotating his arm and then just push until you hear a small click, and there. And then you want to take out his secret hinge and then boom, foot mode. Ready to go step on people. Alright, now let's move on to the combined form of Vortex and Superion. Alright everyone, for the Vortex combining with Superion thing, you're going to need first Vortex and Superion's arm. You're going to want to fold up the little wheel there and connect it like so. It'll be a little tighter since he technically isn't meant to be a part of this combiner. And then you just attempt to pull them apart. Why is it always easier than when it just comes to Slingshot when I combine these for play? And there. And now let me show you what it looks like combined with Superion. And yeah, here he is combined with Superion. This is basically an early sneak peek to the final review of him I will do when I get all the aerial bots. And yeah, the blade still spins in this. And yeah, basically reminds me of those days back when in the Combiner Wars when we didn't get the entirety original team. We got the original team members plus one new guy, which was Alpha Bravo in the case of the aerial bots. This gives me vibes of that. Maybe they might one day recolor him as Alpha Bravo and they can combine them together. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to my final thoughts. So, my final thoughts on these guys. I gotta say, they're pretty decent. Vortex, I gotta say, is probably the weakest out of the two of them since, well, his arm kibble keeps getting in the way of stuff. And he seems a bit tight in the leg area when it comes to transforming. Scavenger, on the other hand, feels like a massive improvement over his Combiner Wars version, which I only ever got to play with one of, which I never owned because I had a friend who let me borrow it for a day. So yeah, shout out to you, man. You're a great friend. And yeah, definitely good. I will also say this: Vortex has a better color scheme than Scavenger. But yeah, let me know what you think of these guys down in the comments below, and which team member are you more excited? Which teams are you more excited to get complete? The Combaticons or the Constructicons? Am I good to go now, Dreadwing? Yes, you are. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that other stuff. Bye bye now.